everyone, and today I'm going to be talking about my reading routine. I just decided to talk about my reading routine just because everybody is different with their reading routines, and I've seen a lot of booktubers talked about it in the past, and I just want to tell you guys what my reading routine is, so let's get started. So in the morning, I tend to listen to an audiobook while I'm getting ready for work or getting ready for school when I was in college when my roommates are not around, and that's been helping me a lot to catch up on some reading. And I've just really listened to audiobooks while I'm doing something else, just because so I don't have to hold a book while I'm doing other things, and that's been helpful for me. And I also listen to audiobooks while I'm doing chores, because it's another thing that I like about audiobooks. Like I mentioned before, I like listening to an audiobook while I'm doing something else, and that's what I really like about audiobooks lately. In the morning, if I'm reading, I tend to grab a cup of coffee. Mostly my coffee is the Starbucks vanilla frappuccino, just because that's the only flavor that I like, that's vanilla. And I tend to take a sip every time I turn a page, just so it's easier for me and not worry about spilling coffee on my books, because I do not like it when books get ruined by food or drinks. And I don't eat snacks while I'm reading, but I tend to take a bite of a Pop-Tart. That's the only thing I eat while I'm reading, just because Pop-Tarts are have less crumbs and it makes less messy, and I tend to eat mostly cookie flavored Pop-Tarts, so that's been helping me reading. That's the only snack I would eat while I'm reading. Also, if I end up not in a reading mood, I tend to listen to booktube videos while I'm reading, just because listening to people talk about books help me motivate reading more. But it has to be videos that I've watched before, because that's easier for me than watching a new booktube video and then reading, because I just don't like doing that, because I want to see what people are talking about and not forget what I'm reading. So I tend to watch booktube videos while I'm reading, just because it the videos that were already the ones that I've watched before, so that's easier for me. And I tend to listen to music while I'm reading sometimes, just because sometimes the music ends up reminding me of a scene of a book that I'm oh, this fits with the scene really well, so that's why I listen to music while I'm reading. This is another thing that's gonna be weird for you guys. I tend to watch movies and TV shows while I'm reading, but as long as it's the episodes or movies that I already watched, I'm pretty okay with not paying attention on what's happening, since I've seen it before. But I've tried reading a book while watching a movie that I never watched before. Big mistake. I'm not doing it again. So I tend to watch a movie while I'm reading, just because it's a movie that I love, and I just don't mind missing the scenes, because I've seen it maybe hundreds of times. So I tend to read while I'm watching one of my favorite movies. And for where I read, it's mostly either a couch or on my bed, just because my bed, it is very comfortable to read, but sometimes I tend to fall asleep, so I try to at nighttime I do watch booktube videos that I watched before while I'm reading, and that helps me a lot. But at the same time, if my eyes are saying it's time to go to sleep, then I put the book down and finish reading. And I tend to read in the car, but as long as there's music in the background, I'm okay with reading in the car. But sometimes if Kevin and I are listening to an audiobook together, I can't read physically while I'm reading a different book on audio, because I tend to miss what I'm reading on a physical copy while we're reading a different book on audiobook. I don't want to miss what's happening in both. For my reading routine, this is a general idea of what my reading routine looks like. Just like everybody else, everybody's different with their reading routines, and I just want to tell you guys what my reading routines are in case you're curious. And let me know in the comments down below what your reading routine is like. And yeah, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!